CIViC, which is the clinical interpretation of variants in cancer knowledge base, utilizes crowdsourcing to find and curate clinically relevant cancer variant data from peer-reviewed published literature. Identifying relevant literature for curation is essential. Suggesting a source is an easy and helpful task that ultimately fosters collaboration within the CIViC interface in a variety of ways. Any CIViC user, whether a student, patient advocate, researcher, or clinician, and regardless of institution or organization, can sign in and suggest a source for future curation. Published literature indexed in PubMed or the ASCO Meeting Library are eligible for curation into CIViC. For example, when a CIViC user is browsing PubMed, they will come across many papers with relevance to their field and interest. While reading through a manuscript, if a CIViC user recognizes cancer variant data with clinical relevance, whether prognostic, diagnostic, predisposing, predictive, and/or functional, the user should suggest the paper as a source in the CIViC interface. To submit a source suggestion, the user should go to the civicdb.org website, sign in, click the Add button, and select Source Suggestion. In this case, the source found is from PubMed, so PubMed is selected from the Source Type drop-down menu. For PubMed papers, the source ID is the PubMed ID, or PMID. After entering in this information, the only other required field is the comment section. Ideally, a comment will aid curators in selecting the suggested source for review and curation by offering a brief summary describing the source's relevance with general study or experimental details. The source is now eligible for submission, but the user also has the option to include more pre-curation information, such as the gene name, the variant, and disease. A source can be suggested more than once if the paper contains multiple evidence types or classifies multiple variants. Once finished, the user submits their source for evaluation. The source submission is now listed in the Source Suggestions queue, which can be accessed by the link shown after submission. Additionally, the queue can be found by clicking on the drop-down arrow next to your username and selecting Source Suggestions. A user can view the source record page by clicking on the citation link in the queue. The source record contains various details such as the title, abstract, and journal. Additionally, as evidence from the source is curated, it will appear in a table on the source record page. In the Source Suggestions curation section, a user can click the plus icon to immediately add evidence with information from the source record pre-populated. Additionally, a source can be rejected if it does not fall under the umbrella of CIViC. Finally, the comment section on the source record page can be used to promote collaboration using the @macros function to tag other users. This feature is especially useful for multidisciplinary task forces and working groups to bring attention to sources for curation and discussion amongst their members and the CIViC community. Overall, the source suggestion is a starting point for the CIViC community's effort to curate clinically relevant cancer variant evidence.